Hey there, gardening friends. It is Tuesday, August 18th, and I am back with another garden update. So I'm going to start over here at the kids' garden because I haven't done them lately, and hopefully I'll be able to get through this because I had just tried and the gnats were chewing me up so bad that I had to go in. You can actually see them flying across here. This is not as bad as I was just dealing with though. Anyway, let's start with the acorn squash, which has gone a little crazy here. I did just notice as I came out here that we've got the powdery mildew thing going, which kind of sucks. But this has been really producing well. I've seen lots of acorn squash. There's one right there. There's one right here. And I think there's still one like hanging off the side over there. So my kid has gotten quite a few acorn squash on this plant. He's only harvested one so far, but so far so good. As far as harvesting though, we did get quite a few of the tomatoes. They're on the smaller side. They get like a little bit bigger than that size. And actually, there's some ripe ones right there. They're kind of just above a cherry tomato size. And I'm gonna have to come pick these later. Right here in my face is the watermelon. So if you remember, my kids decided we're going to spit watermelon seeds in the garden and see what happens. Well, look what happened. They've got a watermelon. Look at the size of this. That's a nice sized watermelon. So I'm pretty excited about that. I have no idea how well that's going to go, but we'll see. Fun experiment for the kids. They're all excited that they spit watermelon seeds and got a watermelon from it. So now let's turn our attention to the big garden over here, and hopefully I'll be able to get through this without the gnats chew me up too bad. Before I head in there, I did want to pull over here and take a look at what we've got from a side view. The sunflowers are doing really nicely here. These ones in the front actually started out black and changed to red, which was pretty cool. And look at this overachieving corn plant over there. That sucker's got to be at least a foot or two taller than the other ones around it, which is quite comical. Also, while we're looking at things being overachievers, look at this tomato over here. We've got the cherry tomatoes, which have snuck into the regular side of the fence here, and they've been producing really well. I've been getting tons of cherry tomatoes off of them. In the center here is our butternut squash. And the butternut squash still has that giant butternut right in the center there. Trying to get through the fence here. And let's see. It is about a foot long. And it's starting to turn a buttery color, but it's not there yet. It's working on it. I would like to point out though that we've got the tower style trellis not working very well, as the things have escaped in every direction, and I'm constantly walking around trying to pick these things up and redirect them off the pathways and back that way. What we got here? The green beans have beans all over them that I'm gonna have to pick this week. And over there is the acorn squash, and there is a literal pile of gnats flying above my head here. I've put on a hat and my gardening gloves to see if it will help curb them a little bit so I can get through this video. Over here we still have the giant acorn squash. You can see the size of that sucker. And hiding back here, we've got the glacier tomatoes, which have been ripening up this week, which is so much fun. The glacier tomatoes only get about that big. They don't get any bigger than that. And on the other side, we've got the better boys, which I'll show you in a second. They get a little bigger. They have not ripened yet. They're still staying green, but they're doing pretty well. As far as this archway support goes, so I have some pros and cons. The pro is, unlike the butternut, which I have to keep pulling off the path, this has actually stayed contained on its trellis. Like, even though I've had to go through before and tie it there, it's easy to keep off the pathways in both directions here. So that's the pro of this. Another pro would be that it's easy to see my squash hanging there and That one right there, you can see. So it's nice that I can see the squash, but now here's the really big con. I'm gonna come down here and you'll be able to see right away. Anyone who's grown squash can see that stem doesn't look right at all. That is really torn up. Ah, my phone's trying to get the other thing. You can see that's really torn up by the squash borers. So squash borers got in there. I can't cover it with dirt. I can't really do much of anything about it because it's behind this fencing here. So I did come through at one point and I kind of fit my hands through that fencing the best I could. I scooped up dirt as much as I could, like onto the stem, but there really wasn't much I could do because I can't get in there to really do anything about it. So I can see the cattle panels where you can walk under them being really beneficial, but in an archway over a raised bed like this, that's a really big disadvantage, not being able to get in there and really do anything about it. Over here, we've got the purple Cherokee tomatoes, or as I've been calling them, the ugly tomatoes, because they start out all normal like this, and every one that I've harvested has looked something like that. They split no matter what their watering conditions are, and you can see my other tomatoes aren't split. My other tomatoes are all perfect. It's just this particular variety just splits like crazy. I don't really know why. Turning around behind me here, we've got the cucumbers, and they are producing like crazy. I've already made a batch of pickles, and they are still producing, and I'm going to have to make more pickles or something because I've got 2 things of them in the house, 2 big bowls, and they're still going crazy here. Oh, look over here. I see my nasturtium finally bloomed. If you remember, every time I've come out here, I'm like, oh, no sign of flowers, no sign of flowers on these nasturtium. There's finally a flower. Speaking of flowers, if we look right here, these are my son's bell peppers that he planted on the porch, and they are finally starting to flower, which is very exciting. Over here we've got the romas, and I'm not very happy with the romas. I came out here yesterday, and sitting right on the ground there was about 3 or 4 romas that had no reason to fall. They were blushed, like this one, where they kind of had that pinky tinge. There was no bites, no holes, no nothing. It wasn't windy out, and there were just tomatoes laying on the ground. So I wasn't thrilled seeing that. I think it was like 3 blushed ones and a green one, and the green ones I haven't been able to actually turn red, leaving them on the counter for like the past 2 weeks for any of the tomatoes that have fallen that I've picked up. So I'm probably going to have to fry them up or something, or give them to somebody who wants to fry them up. But yeah, not thrilled with the romas. I did harvest a few, and most of them are really wonky shaped. Like you can see, that's like not really smooth and nice like the marianas. So the marianas I've been very happy with this year. I like the size of them. I like how they grow. The plant has had less issues. I think I've only lost 2 to blossom end rot. Normally the romas I lose a lot to blossom end rot. This year so far so good. But so far I'm really liking the marianas better than the romas. These are also just now ripening in August, while the marianas I've had tomatoes all summer from those. Alright, over here is my crazy bush of tomatoes here, and hiding in here is my purple tomatoes, which are on that side, and then the red tomatoes are on this side. Oh, there's some red tomatoes right in there. I'm gonna have to pick those later. Sneaking through this little narrow opening that the tomatoes have left me, the Marconi peppers are finally making peppers. Over here I did get 2 tomatoes off of that yesterday. They're not the biggest tomato. They're like I guess a really small slicing tomato. I ended up just putting them aside. They will be turned into sauce later. Now my 3 sisters here, let's talk about this. So last time I actually checked on this corn was about here, so that's grown probably about 5 or so inches. And I did hand pollinate this particular one. I hand pollinated 3 of them, And now I don't really know specifically which ones are pollinated because there's just enough to be annoying. But the bees have been really happily coming out here. I have like the really small native bees. I've seen them all over the tassels, all over the pollen. And then this exact one, after I hand pollinated it, I saw the bee actually like going all through the silks. So I am really hopeful that the bees are pollinating these because I can't necessarily get to all the silks. Like there's one like kind of up in there that is well over my head that I won't really be able to reach the silks for that. So I'm hoping the bees are helping me out on that because there's only so much I can do. And with the gnats being as brutal as they have been the past 2 weeks, I can't really stay out here for very long. Like if I wasn't wearing a hat right now, I wouldn't even be able to do this video. When I came out the first time, they were all in my ears, they were in my nose, they were brutal. I'm hearing like the buzzing every 2 seconds. The hat is the only thing keeping them at bay right now, and I have no idea why. It's like a wide brimmed hat, and they apparently don't like it. Here are marianas. So I was talking about marianas compared to the romas. You can see how nice and smooth that is. It's a nice big tomato. These have been producing all summer, and I've been really happy with this variety. Also, this variety, I stuck it in a cage, and it's, how would I explain it? Maybe polite. It politely stays in its little cage here and grows really nice. And look, you can see the tomatoes, and they're staying all nice in their cages. And then whatever that is over there, which knocked over 2 cages. Just full on pulled them down. Ugh, darn you. All right, looking over here, we've got the zucchini. Oh, I've got water in one of these things. I didn't know have water in it. That's probably not helping the gnat problem. So we've got the zucchini here. This one's only got the male flowers. This one's only got the male flowers. But when I walked through the first time, before the gnats came out in force, try and get through here, there is a little female zucchini right there, the flower. So I'm hoping I'll get a zucchini from there. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, we've lost our zucchinis to the squash bugs. And because I planted these so late, the squash bugs aren't messing with this, while the squash bugs absolutely were taking out my acorn squash over there. Actually, funny thing is, the acorn squash is dealing with quite a bit of damage from the borers, and the butternut next to it seems to be fine. I don't know if it's a variety thing or what is going on here that they've like torn this up, left this alone. I don't know. I've even taken like the seeds, or not what the seeds, what are they called? The eggs. It's like one of those, you lift a leaf and you see the eggs. I've had to remove a few eggs from this one, but I haven't seen anything on this. I don't know what the rhyme or reason of it is. It is. All right, try to creep through another overgrown pathway here and show you the hot cherry peppers. Hot cherry peppers down here are starting to turn red. I will not pick them until they fully turn red, because for some reason, if I bring them in, they just will never fully turn red. It doesn't matter if I leave them on a windowsill or on the counter or anything. They just won't. I don't get the reason for it. It's just, I will wait and make sure that they are red this time. All right, have I missed anything interesting here? I think I've covered most things. I've got this random mystery tomato here that's being a bugger. Looks like it might be a cherry. I'm actually leaving this just because I want to find out if it's a purple cherry, because I only got that one purple cherry this year, and the one next to it is red, and this one over, well, these two over here are red. And I just thought it was so weird that they went red when this is my, I think, 4th year with the volunteer cherry tomatoes, and they've always been purple, and now I've only got one. So I don't know what's up with that. But, yeah. Oh, and I did forget to mention that over here, my little random mystery tomato that I threw in this pot did produce a small tomato. This is actually its second small tomato. I've been kind of laughing at the fact that it's giving me little tomatoes. Over here, those are doing really well. And down here, I just realized it's gotten so overgrown, I can't even really tell if there's any strawberries in here. I can see there's strawberry flowers, but the weeds have gotten bad. Oh, there's actually a strawberry. Let me see, can you see? See that little bit of red down there? Oh, my phone won't focus. Come on, phone, why won't you focus? Anyway, there's a little, oh, yeah, right there's a little patch of red. You can see a little edge of a strawberry there. Anyway, I want to thank you for following along with my gardening journey. If you've been following me, please give my videos a like so that I know they're being seen by somebody besides just me rewatching them. Yes, I do double check them once in a while to see what's going on with the garden in past years. And if you want to see what's going on for the rest of the growing season, make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you next time, gardening friends!